Well, hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy Show on another fine, fabulous, freaking awesome Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. You are here. That is awesome. If you're new to the show, I'm Dennis, and this is... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the screen. I'm Andy, and that's Dennis.
Yep.
And this is, of course, the lovely Lona, Kor-Drath. You just saw the trailer, Kor-Drath the Awakening, Volume 2 of the hit Kor-Drath IP that Dennis and I have. Go check it out. Back it today. We'll talk more about that later. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. Praetor's here.
Chat's already popping in.
I know. MD says, woo, Nexus. You know it.
You bet.
Let's see. Outer 6480s just saying hail back Praetor. Dennis Rodriguez is in the house. Joe Bernardo says aloha, aloha to you as well. Good luck in the draft this coming weekend. The NFL draft is this weekend. So there you go. JP Roca, what's good? What's good with you, JP? Randy, of course, is here. Omni is here. Leg Kick is in the house. Lots of great peeps here. The Vespa guy. Didn't know there was going to be a gun show. Wow, you know, they're licensed. I guess hitting the gym's been paying off. You should try it, Dennis. Bloody Drake in the house. All right, lots of people here. We've got great guests. We've got the Mike Barron. That's right, Mike Barron, Nexus, Badger, Punisher, Florida Man. We were talking about on the Kings. Great idea for the next Florida Man book. Florida Man believes in the flat earth. Florida Man to the end of the earth. I think it's a winner.
I do too. Love flat earth stuff. I love inner earth stuff. So that alone, hook, line, and sinker.
I think that would be a great... It just sounds like something Florida Man would do. What? The earth is flat? I'm going to the end of it. I'm going to find the ice wall.
And he gets to the end, and there it's you and I standing on the end of the earth, and we just take him and throw him off. That's it.
That's it. That's
a great idea.
I like it. All right, so we will bring in our guest without further ado. Mr. Mike Barron, hello.
Hi, folks.
Dude, Florida Man to the end of the earth. He travels to find the ice wall.
I like it.
Just seems like something he would do.
Not me. Something Gary would do.
So, right. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm thinking about it very seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you have in store for the next one anyhow, but
I do have 24 pages written, and it's the funniest script ever written.
Oh, cool.
Love to hear that. I love funny.
Well, I got room for a lot more in the book, but this one is about Gary and his friends go to Disney World. Only we don't call it Disney World.
Right. What do you call it?
Wacky World.
Oh, there you go.
After the inventor and great animator Carl Wackheim.
Nice.
Whoever
you know, Dennis's favorite character is Dr. Whack Off.
Yeah, well, no relation.
No. Hey, Vera Dark's in the house. We'll be on her channel tonight at 8 o'clock. She wants to know,
we will.
When are we getting a fully nude Kor-Drath special edition? That's what the people need to know. It's a very good question. You know, Dennis pushed for the loincloth. I was fine without it. I was thinking Richard Corbin Den, but Dennis was like, no.
But Andy insisted on drawing self-imposed like he was the model. So, you know, when you're that big, apparently people don't want to read that. So we thought we would do something fantasy-ish.
That's look at
that. Oh, and Mike pulled it right out. Look at that.
It's going right to the goodie page.
Wow. He's got it bookmarked.
You're going to make Kelsey. That's right. Kelsey's here with us, too. Kelsey blush on him now.
Hey, Florida Man 3 Whack Earth, right? Because it's Mr. Wacky or whatever. Oh, wait, let me see if I get this right. Dennis is the bald one. Andy's the sleeveless one, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, good.
That's it. Dennis is the bald, handsome guy, and I unfortunately don't wear sleeves. And
Dennis has no hair. Andy has no sleeves. Got it.
Your ex.
That's right. Yep.
You know, it is Mork and Mindy. It's like Bizarro World.
How about Florida Man 3 Florida Earth? Just it's all Florida.
It's just Florida.
It would be a nightmare for our friends.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, no, I actually I got sun this weekend.
I know, you can actually tell.
I know. I've noticed.
I can see the line. Yeah.
The first time we hit the Highland games, so I got to see my clan and got more information on it. But
you have a clan? You come from a clan?
I do.
Turner has to be a longer name.
And actually, well, we're part of the Lamont clan. In England, they would pronounce it Lamont, but it's pronounced Lamont. And so we got to do it. And Scott Turner winds up being the president of that clan. So I'm like, wow. I mean, us Turners were kind of in on it, but it was great. We got to see shot puts and the hammers and the big kaibar, the big telephone poles they whip over and the big tosses with the giant weights and the 250-pound feet of strength where you pick up a boulder, move it from a barrel to the bottom and up. And, they got strongman in the competition. It was just great. Strength? It was sunny. Awesome stuff.
Okay. That's how you say your name in proper Scottish. You have to be lifting one of those logs.
That's right.
Exactly. Did you wear a skirt?
I did not wear my kilt, no, and we kicked it around. I usually just do that at the Renaissance Fair. Are you laughing because you called it a skirt?
I am.
Oh, my God. You're such a child.
He laughed, too, so.
No, it was going to be too hot out in the sun, so I chose not to. It was my first year attending. It's been going on for 30 years.
The whole point of the skirt is no drawers underneath, so you get the breeze.
Yeah, but it's still heavy wool.
Listen to this guy. So I got a question. Kelsey, you can chime in. This is a question more for if you have a spouse. But this could have happened.
I got one here somewhere.
There you go. She's under the desk. Yeah. So, Dennis, has your wife or Mike, your wife, ever done this? So we're going on a trip next Thursday. We're going down to Florida. My daughter's turning 21, so we're taking an 8-hour drive down there. Spend her birthday down there, and we're taking my SUV, and it's fine. It runs fine. Oil's been changed. Everything's good. And my wife's like, I think you should take it in and get it looked at just to make sure everything's fine.
That's funny. I'm on a road trip next week, and my wife said the same thing.
Oh my God. So Monday, I go, all right, I'm going to call the place that we take it to. It's this local shop in town. And they said we can drop it off anytime. And she's like, and she can tell I'm a little annoyed because I just want to work on Monday. I just want to come up here, start drawing, no interruptions. And she goes, well, I never said you had to do it today. And I said, yeah, well, we're leaving next Thursday. So what if I put it off a couple days and they can't get it in? So that's why. So I take it. Long story short, they call me up like an hour or two later and they're like, well, actually, they didn't even call. They texted me and said, click here to see your vehicle, inspection, whatever. So I click it. There's only two things that they suggest. One is windshield wipers, which I already got a quote from those guys a long time ago just to have wipers changed. And they were like $45 or $50. I'm like, no, I can do that myself. They're windshield wipers and they're not that bad. But the other one was, it looks like you should probably have your fuel injection line cleaned.
No, of course.
Right, what's that going to cost? About $300.
We're going to need to rebuild the car from ground up. All right.
They have instructions, and anybody brings a vehicle in for any purpose, they try to tack on extra charges.
Yeah, they do. So point is, make her happy. I said, she goes, well, what's up? And I told her, I said, so there's $300 for spending. Probably didn't need to, but it was there. So why not?
At least you're happy. That's it.
now when we drive to Florida, you can be but this was her big concern. The tires are okay. And I go, yes, I have an app on my phone that every time we get a service done on either my car or yours, I put in the mileage and I put in what the service was. Tires last year. Well, what about the brakes? Last year, they're fine. Well, it just sounds like they're making noise. And I'm like, well, they checked it, and look here, it says they're fine. So,
well, I need to get married because my car breaks down all the time. I mean, that would solve so many problems for me, right?
I'm sure marriage will take care of all those problems.
Andy, I'm surprised you're not just renting a vehicle.
No. We are driving up to Garden State Comic Fest, and my wife and daughter are coming with me for that. We might rent one to drive up there. But
Old Dirty Fatty is saying, is anyone going to the Motor City Comic Con? Anybody heading to Detroit?
Not us.
I've never been to Detroit, ever. I wouldn't mind, though. Go see where all the buildings used to be.
You can go buy a house for like $500. Not the greatest part of town.
Yeah. Only problem, it's in a landmine, a landfill.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, nope, not going there. Let's see. We're going to Hickory Con, which is only an hour from here, which is one day on Saturday. Dennis and I will be there. And then after that, I believe it's Heroes Con and then Garden State Comic Fest. Those are the ones as of now. So, but yeah, so I was just curious so Susie's never pulled that on you, like, hey, we're taking a long drive. You should take this in and get looked at.
We go on long drives all the time. We're going to be going on trips. She knows I take care of the vehicles, and when we're ready to leave, that vehicle's in top shape. My wife would never second guess my ability on the vehicles.
Trust. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's a good marriage right there.
Your wife doesn't hear noises and automatically go, oh, it sounds loud. That's my wife's diagnosis when she takes her car in. Don't be like, well, what seems to be wrong with it? It sounds loud. Like what? I don't know.
You should hear the V8.
I just want to spend money today. So find something that you can say, this is why it sounds loud, and I'll just agree.
And here's the worst part. If you're driving and you do have a vehicle problem, Andy, what's wrong? Why didn't you fix this? I took it in. You know you're going to get yelled at.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. I'm sure he knows. Any cons Mike or Kelsey have planned?
Well, I'm hitting the road next week to drive to Madison, Wisconsin for a one-day con called Mighty Con, because that's my hometown, and I'm going to stop along the way to see some friends, some old friends. I'm going to be gone about 8 days.
Well, if you see any of those wonderful chanters chanting "Death to America," you know.
Well, I am going to probably drive by the University of Wisconsin, my alma mater. I haven't heard any ugly reports out of Madison, but that's probably because other universities are so much uglier that they're hogging the headlines.
That's right.
Yeah, no, UW Madison's got its own issues right now, but not nearly as bad as Columbia. My friends wanted to know if I was coming up to Wisconsin for the comic show there and at Mighty, and I was like, no, can't swing it. One of these years, maybe I will. And can plan a trip on the way up there. But yeah,
I got a great con going where I take like $1 and I put a little string to it, put it out in the street. When somebody grabs it,
you just yank it back. That's a
different
fun one.
And
different con, though, I guess.
That's a fun one to do. Let's talk. I want to talk Nexus because one, I already backed it. I usually back stuff on streams when the guests are here, but this one, there was no way I was going to wait.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
I mean, I own all Nexus. Loved it since I was a kid. I've got issue 3 with the record in it still.
Oh, that's been going around. Somebody else just found that recently and posted it. I saw. Yeah.
You know what bothers me about the early Nexus, though, especially those first 3 magazine-sized ones, is the fact that I can find them and they're not that expensive. Because just to me, it seems like those things, because they're magazine size, because I assume it was a low print run, I just think they'd be worth more.
Well, low print run in the
agree.
70s is like, what, 20,000 copies back in the 70s is a low print run. So how many was that?
Now, Kelsey, Nexus was the 80s, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dang it.
Well, Mike, that's a good point. I don't think I've ever asked you. Do you remember what like Nexus #1 sold? What the numbers were like?
Back
Oh,
in the
hell no.
50s.
I never knew those numbers, but I'm going to see my old
Oh.
pal Milton Creep. He was our publisher at the time, and I'll ask him.
Yeah, don't you owe me money? Come on, I'm doing accounting now.
That's funny.
I know that printed way more than you letting on, pal.
I know.
Where's my royalties? From 1983.
So this is the second Nexus project you two guys have done, right? Because I got the first one. I want to make sure I haven't missed any.
Yeah, a few people got the first one, but that's just the first third of a 66-page graphic novel, which we will be releasing later this year.
Okay. So this is the first full graphic novel you two.
This is
Yes.
a self-contained story, and if you've never read Nexus, it's a good place to jump on. I promise you, you'll be enthralled.
Yeah.
I
Do
was.
you do the like recap over a couple pages of like Nexus? You don't do any of that?
No, I believe that every story, even every single issue, has to be entertaining in and of itself. I
Yeah.
don't think you need the whole background to enjoy the story. When you read it, it'll fill you in on everything you need to know. It's like,
Cool.
you know, what if your first Bond film was Goldfinger? No, you don't have to see Dr. No or From Russia with Love to enjoy it.
It makes me want to go seek out more, honestly. I'm like, let me get a little more detail on this stuff here. Let me, read more books.
Well, because Dennis just learned a Nexus back when he first met Mike Barron on our show, whenever that was. So I just want to make sure that, he'll be up to snuff. Right, big guy?
So, no, I have been reading. So back when I grew up reading comics in Wisconsin, I had no idea Mike was from Wisconsin at that time. I just remember I was getting my X-Men and stuff, and I remember seeing Nexus, and it was like, oh, because I actually started off with email, and so I didn't do just mainstream stuff, and I always enjoyed Nexus. I didn't collect them all, but it was one that I would pick up. Oh, that one looks cool. That one looks cool. Same thing with Badger, Poison Elves. Some of the other things that I did. So yeah, I was fairly big into Nexus and Badger. So it was great to find out fellow Wisconsinite doing awesome stuff.
Where did you live?
Fond du Lac. Grew up.
You never heard of it, right, Mike? You're like, what?
I've been there.
Cadillac? What?
Cadillac? I know. No, it's right across the street from East Diesel.
So Fond du Lac. I grew up, went to college, so I was UW Oshkosh. That's where I graduated.
Oshkosh,
lived in Manitowoc. I lived down in Madison, and so I'm all around there. He's never heard of any of those names. He thinks I make them all up.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk in Wanawalk.
And it's not Two Rivers, it's Trivers.
I want to go to McWanago.
All real places.
Oh, I know they are. Well, believe Mike. You lie a lot.
You lie.
So I want to ask about Gormandu, right? Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Nice. His first appearances in what book?
It was probably The Coming of Gormando, which Dude illustrated.
Okay, so it is because I have that. Yep.
But the thing is, years ago, Steve said, "What's the ultimate Nexus story?" And without even thinking, I said, "Nexus versus Galactus."
Yeah.
But we couldn't use Galactus, so I created our own. And I think anybody who reads this story will understand that Gormando is a better character than Galactus insofar as how we use him in the story.
Well, I love that it's this ever-present danger just lurking,
it's
everywhere.
an existential threat.
Yeah.
But it's not the main threat in the book. And that's what the book is about.
Oh, that's cool. Now, when you drew him, Kelsey, did you look? Because I do have that. I've got that big artist edition that Steve did at the Coming of Gormandu that has all the pencils, inks.
Right.
I should probably get the trade paperback because it's a lot easier to handle. That book,
that's for sure.
That artist edition will hurt you.
He's tricky to draw. I definitely had to look up everything the dude did for it just to make sure every little detail of the hand and things like that.
You didn't go off the reservation a little bit?
Oh, I'm sure I did because he changes it a little from panel to panel a lot. So I'm like, give me a little bit of liberty, but mostly I just wanted to give the sense of scale, the sense of awe. When he does show up, I wanted it to be a spectacle, and that's really where I was like, nobody's gonna worry too much about all the details, but as long as I really, capture the gravitas of Gormondo showing up.
Right. What when you guys worked together, did you Mike, I assume, did you write a full script, or how'd you
Actually, I do each page out by hand. That's how I wrote comics for 20 years. Dude loved it. Editors loved it because you could tell at a glance what was going on. It also taught me so many invaluable lessons, like how much weight a page could bear in terms of words and captions. And it was always emphasizing what happens next, which is the most important question in fiction. What happens next? Because if the reader doesn't care, he's not going to turn the page. And I moved like an inchworm from panel to panel. I didn't think in terms of, I have a big double spread here and I'll figure out what it is later. No, it was page by page, minute by minute.
Fritchie Snizzle's got a great comment.
Well, I was just going to say, I was going to wait for a second. He goes, Nexus tackled topics such as social compacts, immigration and asylum, democracy and religious tolerance, even racial identity politics. Oh my. In the early 1980s, Nexus is as relevant today as it was a decade ago.
And he looked great doing it.
Yeah. And I have to point out that my first rule, as always, is to entertain. And that these stories Fritzie is describing are entertaining first and foremost. Yep. There might be a message there, but there's a way to do that without alienating the reader. And anybody who has read To Kill a Mockingbird or The Grapes of Wrath knows what I'm talking about.
Now, those aren't comic books, Dennis.
No, they're not. But
I'm well aware.
Of discussing an important social issue in terms of entertainment. There's a way to do it. And the first thing you have to do is entertain. And that's how you get the reader to turn the page.
Well, I think that's one of the good things about Nexus when I was buying it. So it was 83, right? Was it 83 when it first came out?
81 was the black and white issue.
Okay, so I think I started getting it. I had to go back and get those 3 magazine size ones. So I started with the actual comic book number 1. And, as a kid, a teenager, early teens, whatever, Fritzie's right. It covered that stuff. But at that age, they were just great, entertaining stories with this cool looking character, on different worlds and stuff. But then you go back and reread the stuff. And that's, when you're older, at least for me, and that's when you realize and you see, those issues and stuff. But what I think is great about Nexus as well, kind of like you said, is you can take any of those books from the original run and they just hold up today. I'm just talking from a visual sense. They hold up today. Steve's stuff was just so, it's funny. I would say ahead of its time, but Steve's stuff is really classic because he loves like Alex Toth and Jack Kirby.
Now, you want to know what holds up today? Nexus Scourge, because I drew it, not the dude, and it rocks.
I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. Would you show the trailer, Andy?
Yeah. And Kelsey, that's where I was working toward.
Oh, okay. So, the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. I'm on my knuckles. Come on, dude.
Let me know if you guys can hear it. I'm pretty sure I clicked share audio.
An ancient evil, billions of years old, wages war on the universe. Entire star systems are vanishing without a trace, leaving devastation in their wake. Nexus, the intergalactic guardian of lost souls, must stop the unnameable terror and its expanding scourge of destruction. The totality of everything in existence will collapse upon itself if he fails. With the fate of the cosmos in the balance, Nexus must confront his most dangerous adversary yet. Can he save creation from total and certain destruction, or will darkness reign supreme? Find out in Nexus Scourge, the all-new epic sci-fi adventure from Eisner-winning co-creator Mike Barron, exploding with Kelsey Shannon's dynamic artwork. Order at Indiegogo.com.
Yeah.
That's it. And of course, you can get it on Kickstarter and fund my comic as well.
Yeah. Epic. Uh-oh, he's muted. You're muted, Andy. He can't. Can you hear us?
Andy, can you hear us?
No, hey, shut up. Okay, so originally, I totally forgot. I got to do that, Erder Echo. So, Mike, you said you when you wrote it, like you used to do, you drew it out. But wasn't there a time that you did just go back to, writing your scripts out
Yes.
for people? So when did you
for the
switch
last
back?
20 years. Pardon?
So you do that for Florida Man as well? And
That's right.
Bronze Star?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you got to show some of that stuff online. I'd love to see what that stuff looks like.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
you just
I do
posted some
draw.
recently.
I do draw. If I have to draw something out, I'll send you one page I have in the green room in our group chat
Yeah.
here. Wait. No, should I send it to Andy Smith Art? I'll send it to your page, Andy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
So
think I saw
Kelsey-
something you posted online. Was that your thumbnail? You had like script kind of around the edges of
Yeah.
what that was great. Honestly, I think he's got the chops. That's like all you
no, I
need
don't.
for a layout.
I'm not a good artist, but I'm good enough to get my ideas across, and that's what's important. There
So
it is.
humble.
All right, I'll check it out. So Kelsey, is that the first time you've I'm going to remove this so I can go find it real quick. Is that the first time you've worked from somebody's layouts like that?
Oh no, I didn't. He didn't provide me any layouts, unfortunately. Now that I know he does it, I would like layouts for everything, please.
Wait a
But
second.
if I can keep you working, I'll
I
do
got to
it.
get this straight. So Mike, you drew it out and then you write it out from your drawing?
Well, no, because on the original pages that I draw, contains all the dialogue and all the captions. Now, I might tinker with that later on and change it around a little bit, but 95% of it is there from the beginning. Because I hear the voices in my head, I hear
Sometimes it's good to like I do my own letter placement, but I
Yeah.
don't pass that to the letterer because I don't want to. I want them to feel creative, and they may think of things that I never thought about. But I do have it just in case, or if there needs to be clarity, or something I did that needs to, work with the letterer and they don't understand. But yeah, I mean, so sometimes it's just helpful for your own process,
Yeah. Mike, I can share what you sent me, right?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So now what is this from?
It's from a Clone Zone story.
Oh. I mean, it's
Clone
basically like what Keith Giffen was doing when I worked with him.
Mm.
You
I
know?
loved working off of Giffen's layouts. I have worked with Giffen on with his layouts. They're very helpful.
Keith did an issue of Nexus.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, you had some great villains there. You had Keith, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Mike Mignola, but
most notably Paul Smith.
Paul Smith.
Oh, yeah,
Love Paul Smith.
But now it's Kelsey Shannon time.
But I mean, this is great. I mean, this is like all you need, really, to show who's talking, where, how many panels, Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Very
Dennis
clear.
could actually work from this and make something of it.
You can't ask me to do it. I can't draw worth a crap. That's mine are stick figures.
Ooh.
You can use stick figures. It's an invaluable exercise for anybody who wants to create their own comic. I recommend it whether you can draw or not.
You should try that with a couple.
Because even if you're just doing stick figures, you're learning how many panels the page can bear, when to open up and when to go to multiple panels. And you think of the dialogue right from the get-go. And I think that's very important. You have to give the artist the dialogue so he can cast the part.
Yeah. Randy Howell, $2. Thank you very much. Nexus Scourge has 699 backers over 3 platforms. Oh, we need to get more than one more, but that number drives me crazy.
Yeah, you can't just leave anything sit at $6.99.
No. So before you started drawing it, Kelsey, I assume the whole thing was written. It wasn't like, here's the first batch of pages or what?
Yeah, here, I'll share my layouts here. I'm pulling them
Oh,
up
yeah.
so you
And
can see.
I meant to ask too, did you draw this whole thing digital or did you do both or what?
Yeah, digital. It's, it's not that much different than what I normally do. So a lot of times I'll just go digital to save myself a lot of extra steps, like scanning and storing artwork, cleaning up artwork, preparing it.
Right.
Sometimes it's just, unless you're going to sell the original artwork, which, I could do, I guess, but it's just never really been in my programming. My love was always print. Like, the art is production art. I'm all about having that book in my hands,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so what is Nexus Scourge? Well, we will get to that in a second there. I'm with you, but the thing I like about original art is it is production art, and that's why the actual cleanness of the original art I never cared about. I like pages that have you look through the
Me too.
artist editions by John Romita, and you can see the blue pencil and
they're cutting out parts and pasting and all
that. That's why I like original art, because I do that. It's like, oh, I don't like that panel. I'll just cut the panel out, slap another one in.
But I literally have original art stashed in every drawer in this house, and I'm at capacity. So digital definitely helps in that regard. So when I get the script, I go through and I do the entire thing on like one page, and I separate them into their spreads so that I can easily see what's next to it, like page one just by itself with the cover. So here's my cover sketch. Which there's like a skull in the final one, in the like a skull image in the smoke. That'd be sweet if that was spot varnish too, like shiny. But yeah, I'll go through and just I do pretty tight layouts because I'll go straight to ink from this generally.
Really? Well,
yeah. So these are basically
digital. So it's almost
Well, I'll change stuff. Like I flipped this image the other way around so that you're flying more from left to right, to lead you more into here. I reversed this angle. I'll tweak things, and some things I'm like, I don't know, I'll figure that out on the page, But yeah, so there's just certain things that there's sometimes where I just feel like I got the page and I don't even need to finish it. But that's in some pages I just do right on the page, like here's page 7. But I find it very helpful if I just take the time, and it doesn't take much time to do it like this, but all the information is there. There's attitude and things like that. So really, it's so much easier to go from this to like the final piece. So that's I get a little nuts with my layouts, but I consider them my pencils as well. So I don't want to spoil anything. Let me see.
Yeah, don't spoil anything. Well, like you said, I mean, that I will say that is the one nice thing about digital is you can pencil to that extent and then go in and start inking it. But realistically, because it's digital, you're still just kind of penciling, because if you mess up, you just erase what you did.
I kind of draw in ink anyway. Even when I'm like on Graybeards, for instance, I'll just do like a loose kind of drawing and then just go in with ink and then completely ruin it. And then I put paint all over it to fix everything I messed up. So very similar process.
And you did that for the whole book before you really started even drawing, like going to finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd like to, so that I can just make sure that like I have everything kind of planned out and everything, but inevitably I'll get through a scene and, like, for instance, Headworld here, and I'm like, I got to see what that looks like finished, and I'll jump the gun and like do a page, it kind of where we're at with other projects as well, where it's like there's some finished pages and then not, but it's just because I get excited about the image and what's possible, and I just want to make sure I'm on the right track. But
that page is a stop and gasp moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well, in the trailer it looks awesome, but even this layout, I just think is really cool.
Well, it's so much easier to do. Also, because I draw these small. I get with digital. There's a real habit of going in too tight and drawing all this little detail and all the cracks that no one's ever going to see. So I try to just hit the broad strokes, and I'm like, if all I have to do is tighten this up, and I'll still go in and add more detail, but you don't have to, because this is where it's readable at this size. Then it's perfect, because that's all you really want to just have, like the readability, so that everybody knows what's happening and where to go. And like for instance here, it's just them walking down a hallway that's back here. So in the final, I just added like chairs and like some paintings on the walls, and there are various things like that. So, but yeah, it still reads.
That's just so cool. I can't wait to get this.
Was Shannon made for Nexus or Nexus made for Shannon? And Mike said both.
I feel very privileged and honored to be doing this book, because I was a big fan, and never had I thought, I would get to do it. Like when I was a young man and I wanted to draw like X-Men, when I got in to draw X-Men was changed like a month later. It was different than what I wanted. So there was no way I was going to get to draw the one that I loved. But Nexus, on the other hand, Nexus is still holding strong. It's still consistent from beginning to end, nearly. So like he has the same iconic look. The characters are all the same. It's just we're continuing down these adventures. So for me, it's like I do feel like I'm actually getting to contribute to the legacy of it in a way.
Oh, I think you definitely are. I mean, that's the cool thing about it, because like they said in the chat, Nexus is just such a legendary character, being around for 43 years now. I mean, that is amazing.
It's iconic. Yeah.
I'm already dreaming of a news story for Kelsey.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm committed. Like I told Mike, I want to keep doing this as long as you'll have me. I'm going to keep doing it, because I don't know how many the dude's done, but maybe I got a shot at the record. Maybe I can be the new dude.
Oh boy.
I would say the dude's done quite a bit.
Call me the bro. He's the dude. I'll be the bro.
Yeah, I used to get Nexus in the floppies, and stuff. But on this one, I know you guys have the. I backed the. You got the hardcover graphic novel one, and this. While I liked all the other Nexus stuff, this is a whole new level. So I really wanted the graphic novel, because instead of just being in my comic boxes, I want it on my graphic novel shelf, because I think it's going to be that good.
And it will be.
Limited edition autographed hardcover is what you're saying.
I sure did.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice.
I want it on your shelf too.
Yeah.
Now the question I have, Kelsey.
I feel dumb. I've never heard of Nexus. Mike, why? I think this would be a good spot, because there are a lot of younger people on here. Talk a little bit about Nexus and maybe his origin.
Yeah, let's school this gentleman right here and get him back to book.
Well, Nexus is a reluctant executioner of mass murderers 500 years in the future. His father was a tyrant on a planet that is very much like the Soviet Empire back in the 70s. And in order to save the planet, which was going through revolution, he decided to destroy the planet. We've all heard that before. In order to save the village, they had to destroy the village. So he took his wife and baby son, and he left the planet and blew it up. And then he went into a black hole because it thought it would destroy them, and he couldn't live with himself. But instead, it spat him out in another galaxy next to this moon, Ilum, that had ancient ruins permeating the world. And they went down there, and they found that the air was breathable in the caves. And so they set up housekeeping there. But Nexus's mother was distraught, to say the least, and his father was suicidal. And Nexus was left to raise by himself, except he had two friends, Alpha and Beta, but little did he know that they were emblems of the insane alien that gave him his power. I mean, there's a lot there. But if you read the Nexus Origin, which has been reprinted many times, you'll get it. And the essential thing to know is that whenever he shows up, unless it's to a party, he's there to assassinate a mass murderer. So it's about his search, scouring the universe for mass murderers, most of whom are human, but he will take on an alien mass murderer if he gets the dreams. Because every night he dreams of mass murderers, and the dreams are intense and debilitating. And he knows that if he doesn't remove the subject of the dreams will recur until they drive him mad. And that's just in an eggshell. It's a little bit, but we've been world building for 40 years now, and there are all these civilizations and all these worlds, and they're all fully realized. So you just got to dive in, and you can dive in anywhere. My philosophy is to make any issue entertaining in and of itself. I don't think you have to read 20 issues to understand what's going on. I hope that you'll go back and find out because you enjoy the issue you read so much. But that's my goal, is to entertain from the first page to the last page. And I pride myself on never wasting a word or a picture.
Yeah, and there's so many collections out there. I've got the original, I've got the floppies, I've got the first original 2 trade paperbacks. Like you said, that Origin graphic novel is it's just a great, great read.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely can't go wrong. But Kelsey, what I want to know is, I love Nexus's costume, and when I saw this, I'm like, this is so cool. And then my OCD went off and said, what's with the black elbow armband?
Yeah. I made some little minor additions to kind of make it my own. Like I also gave him a bit of a collar so that when he takes his hood off, his mask, that there's a clear collar. I wanted it to make it feel like a thicker kind of material. I don't know. I just wanted to own it in my own way, for lack of any other better reason. And so yeah, he's got armbands.
So now Mike makes me want to go back and reread some of the original Nexus, because dude, that basically pitch explanation you gave of what Nexus is brought it all back. But it's been so long since I read it. I was like, that sounds awesome. I want to read that. And I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then you brought up about the collar. And I'm like, I'm picturing in my head. So wait, when Rude drew him taking his mask off, didn't it end like right around his neckline?
Yeah. He just had the little collar, like a shirt collar or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We're in the world now where like Hollywood and like video games, and they're creating like complex 3D, versions of things, and it's not that I'm updating the costume that much, because it's such a classic, iconic, and I love that simplistic kind of style. But I just wanted to add a little something extra. Like for instance, like with the tech, like if you look at like the old stuff, it's very much like sci-fi. I don't know what you call that, kitsch, kind of from the 50s, inspired by Space Ghost, things like that. And I wanted to bring it into like a bit more modern. I was looking at guys like Sid Mead, growing up. So they create kind of a plausible future to live in. So that's all I was really trying to do, is just make it just a little bit more, suspend the disbelief just a little bit,
Sure. I mean, I think you melded that stuff really well, because looking through it and looking through the little short story you guys did that I saw or had, you still got the feel of what Steve was doing in regard to the designs of the tech and the worlds and stuff. But like you said, it's updated just a bit, but not so far where it's like, what is this? This looks like, well, a good example would be, would be like George Perez tech.
Right.
George Perez did great tech, but it just wouldn't. It's not that it wouldn't fit, because if you ever did a Nexus story, you'd believe it, because he did everything.
Yeah, and ultimately it's like, trying to do it in such a way that it's not even an issue. Like it should be just in the back of your subconscious this stuff while you're being entertained by the people. So that it's just it's a subtle balance. The one thing the dude does that I would like to capitalize more on is he is highly theatrical. He has like great moments of drama that he puts into the art. He has great shots of Nexus and stuff like that. And I'm very much just story driven, where I'm because I come from more of a film background and like storyboarding and things like that. So I kind of think along those lines, like Akira, like, what would Tomo do with Nexus? But yeah, lately I've been thinking, man, I need to capitalize on some of that great theatricality that the dude brought to the table. So yeah, I'm gonna try to pump that up. He also had great layouts too that made use of the entire page, and I can't even go there. I'm gonna leave that to him. I'm a bow to his greatness in regards to that.
Well, Kelsey, dude never imagined he had world the way you drew him, and now that I see it, it's perfect.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I can't wait to see some of the differences. I know I'll be breaking it out, and I know we showed it up on here, but talking about going back to the origin, it makes me kind of want to pull up my old ones and read them. But I'm going to pull them out side by side with the new ones, because you always got to, just like with my X-Men, when they got new artists and stuff on there, you kind of wanted to compare them.
Well,
this is going to be great.
One big one is like, what Jim Lee did with the X-Jet. It was like the SR-71, and he made it into like something sleek. I wanted to do something like that, where before his jet was like, his spaceship was like almost like a bus.
Boy, that's a viable design.
Yeah, I wanted to be like a McLaren, fast.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to say a word about this story because I've been building toward it for a long time. And each time the challenge was to top myself over the previous villain. And a lot of my villains you'll recognize because they're based on historical figures. But this villain is unique in that it predates civilization. And civilization came after, and civilization bugged it. So
as it does,
when it awakens, its mission is to destroy every civilization there is, and it appears at the edge of the galaxy and starts crawling its way toward the center of the galaxy. And the only way you can tell is by the lights going out, the absence of civilization. Worlds that used to raise a ruckus with their broadcasting suddenly go silent, and you can't find them anymore because they've been taken over by a black hole. And as you know, a black hole is a star that becomes so dense that it collapses in upon itself due to the gravity. And the gravity is so great that not even light can escape.
So that's what we're dealing with here. Darkness.
That is so cool.
So Kelsey, do you juggle back and forth? And what I mean is, will you be like, all right, I'm going to get the whole book inked and then start coloring? Or are you like, I just love this page, I got to start coloring now?
Yeah, I'm not that organized, but I'm getting there. I'm little by little, I'm like getting to that point where it's like, I kind of like just going all the way through in one stage to the next. But occasionally I just get, excited by how this would look with fire and, and people running around. I'll just color it up. Or like, the shot of him in there in his ship through the red glass, I'm like, is this actually going to work? Or is it going to look weird just being all red? So sometimes I'll just throw color in there just to see if whatever I'm doing works. So
no, man, I love stuff like that. We were looking at last night on the Professionals. Graham pulled up an issue of Batman. I think it was 227. It was Irv Novick and Dick Giordano from 1970. And it had so much of like that theatrical coloring where somebody was holding like a torch, right? And instead of coloring Flash but making it a little brighter, they were just like, oh no, this guy's totally lit with the same color as the torch. The orange and the yellows and stuff.
Well, because the art provides the value with the black in the white. Black should be the ultimate dark value on the page. There should be no reason to add black on your coloring. Let the inks do that.
Yeah. And I do. That's one of the other things too. I was like, oh, look at that ship. That's like, so like I picture, and I picture that as almost like he still has that big ship that the dude designed.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He also has like the sports car ship.
Yeah, he lets the wife use that one. This is the sports car he's got in the garage.
Yeah. Well, the thing I like, Kelsey, I'm sure you've seen it. I know obviously Mike has, but did you ever see the diagram that the dude did of the ship where you see like sleeping quarters and all that stuff?
Yeah. None of that here. This is like engine and like a couple of seats. That's it.
Dude, what if he has to go to the potty?
Well, he's like Matthew McConaughey's van. He has a little door on the side where he just sees into a jar and then throws it out the.
Nice.
Hey, look at this. Yeah, blow up Mike here. Check it out. He's got a little model.
A friend of mine, 3D computer printed this little ship.
Oh, no way.
And he hand colored it. As you can tell, it's not super slick or smooth, but the proportions are right. And now I have a friend who's a master at 3D printing, and I'm thinking of having him do a new ship, and the new ship will be perfect. I mean, it'll be as smooth as chrome.
Now wait, I meant who made that one?
You know, I forget the guy's name.
Okay.
I wish I knew.
So great though.
I think I'd love to have one of those just, in whatever printing ink the guy used. Let's say it was gray. I think owning that and then the one that Kelsey did would be just freaking awesome because
that's like the Nexus RV. I love that
one. I agree.
Yeah.
I would like to wet sand this with 400 or finer sandpaper so that it's really smooth, and then I would paint it with spray can and masking so it would be really tight and consistent.
See, I picture the ship you created, Kelsey, like coming out of like the back of that ship. Like he goes to the back. Like, I ain't got time for this big ship. I need my little one.
Yeah. Maybe it's like it pops out of it somehow, and the wings go with it. Yeah.
The bottom of it.
That's what I was thinking. Kind of like a captain's yacht. That attaches.
My man knows about the captain's yacht. Right on.
Dude, I'm a Trekkie. Of course I do. Attaching saucer sections. Yeah. We could talk all day on that.
Yeah, this is the Nexus captain's yacht. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I freaking love it. But I will tell you, one of the memories of the big bus ship, as you call it, from the early book is I can't remember the exact story. Mike will remember it. It was like teetering on this wall or something, and it started sliding down it. I think Badger was in that issue.
And
Nexus, Badger, and damn it, I'm blanking on the
Judah.
They were on the top of the ship, like holding on and stuff as it was sliding down.
Ah, cool.
That was inspired by Philip Jose Farmer, who was a big influence on me.
Oh, okay. See, peeling back the curtain. I'm learning all this stuff. I love these, by the way.
We are planning to offer the first 3 black and white issues in full color later this year, and it's going to be a big book. And if there's enough interest, we'll do a hardcover.
Oh, you're talking about collecting the magazine-sized ones?
Yes.
And
I'm coloring them actually, so they're going to be a full color.
Right. It's going to be.
I was about to ask who's doing the. So how far in are you?
Hint.
I'm over halfway. I'm just going to say that because I will be at some point.
One page with a cool shot of Nexus that you color. Just one page.
Do what now?
Can you show one page that has a cool shot of Nexus?
Well, the only one I got done is at the very beginning where he's being tortured, basically. So I don't know if that's.
Show it. Go ahead.
All right, I'll show it. Okay.
I got it, dude. I gotta see this.
All right. We
All
got a DNA exclusive here. You get to see this.
Yeah. Right now I'm in flatting stage. But
artwork with modern Kelsey color. Man, that is freaking cool.
I think you guys, there will be a lot of excitement for that.
Is there any way you can reproduce that record? In the third one?
Yeah, it's going to be offered as a download. But, I was never in favor of the record because the voices you hear on the record don't match up to the voices you make up in your own head when you're reading a comic. It's another thing when you have actors that you're watching.
Yeah.
But if people want that sort of thing, we're happy to provide it. I got to take a break here from my dogs. I got to let the dogs out. I'll be right back.
All right. There, you can share this.
All right, let's
look at
see.
this while he's out. But yeah, so this is trying to keep it flat, you know,
Yeah.
because I love the way Nexus has always been colored.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
I'm
you're
trying
right
to
in-
keep it in that vein, but with just a little bit of grads, just to add depth and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, you know, and I love the dude's always got great lighting going on, so I really
Oh,
want to
yeah.
take advantage of all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's trying to keep it simple and effective, you know, and just let the dude's art do what it does. And I'm just adding like emotion, like for instance, making this panel all red, like we were talking about earlier, you know.
Yeah. But dude, that fits right in. Like now, I haven't looked at the Nexus comics from back then in a long time, but from my recollection, the color palette and style really fits right in.
Yeah. That was real important to me. It's like I don't want to do anything like too jarring, because the stuff I'm doing on my book, my version of it is
Right.
pretty radically different than anything else I've seen. So when we're going back to this, it's like, nah, I kind of want to have this, you know, live in the world that it is. But you know, I know what I'm doing with the colors, so I gotta. I definitely want to add to the storytelling where I can.
I'm guessing Mike got the files and sent them to you. Where'd the files come from? Because this stuff was before computers.
Well, they had scans because I think it was in the omnibus. I think they put them in the omnibus, so there were scans at very high resolution. So, yeah, it's been a real treat to. And one thing I noticed about early dude is that he never closes lines. So there's little gaps everywhere when I'm trying to like. I can't
just magic wand something to select.
No. I do as much as I can that way to make it easy, but there's always like, you know, little gaps that fill in the rest of it. Like, oh, then you got to go through and find that little gap. Oh, there it is. But I love that. I actually love adding little gaps because it does add a certain volume somehow. I don't understand it, but I always love that.
I like breaking the line when light's hitting something. You break it just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've had colorists before say stuff like, "Oh, it'd be nice if you didn't break lines." It's like, shut up.
I used to have them say that to me. They were like, "Can't you close these lines?" And then they would close them for me. I'm like, "Don't you dare close those lines. You color it like a man." And then, but then now that I'm coloring lots of stuff, or have even many different artists coloring over the years, and yeah, I see what they're talking about. Yeah, I see.
Oh yeah. So Mike,
I don't care.
Mike, when do you envision launching this? Sometime later this, like the fall, winter, or do you have an
hopefully by summer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I will. I'll be getting that for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I'm stoked for that. It's just been, this is the year of Nexus, and starting with Scourge, which is a great book, good villain, just fun, and the finale. I guess it's the finale. There's a moment that literally shocked me, because I've never read anything like it in a Nexus book ever. And in fact, I even went to make sure Mike was okay. You know, I was like, "You okay, pal?" You know. So to me, this is definitely a unique Nexus book to me. But you know, it's just got. I love all the stuff. They go golfing in it at Pebble Beach at the beginning, and it's like a fun time with the gang. You know, and I just want to live in this world, honestly. I just want to live there. You know, they go to Head World and they're golfing there too. There's golf everywhere in Nexus.
Nice. Oh, you got a Badger graphic novel in the works, Mike?
Oh, it's going to be at least a year before it appears, but it's written and I have a terrific artist on it.
Oh, wow.
Rich Fritzy says, I hope you write comics for another 40
Me
years.
too.
Yeah.
But will you ever conclude the life stories of Badger and Nexus?
Why he commented.
I know, but not everybody was seeing it this way. They could see it.
They're like Batman and Zorro. I really don't envision a death scene.
Awesome.
Which, you know, Arthur Conan Doyle got so sick of Sherlock and people howling for more Sherlock that he wrote a death scene where he and Moriarty go over the falls in Switzerland and drown. But then there was so much demand that he brought him back.
Did we see him drown? That's what I didn't
No,
see him drown,
nobody
so
saw him drown.
he could be still out there. He's a smart guy. He got out of it somehow.
Hey, Kelsey, real quick on this caricature of Mike. You know what you forgot? You forgot the squirrel. Where's the dead squirrel ripped in half?
Yeah, right.
You want that? You want the dead squirrel? I was
You got to see the squirrel ass that your
Hang
dog
on.
brings in.
I was thinking about having the dog getting his glands expressed in this shot, but I figured that
That's funny. That's funny because we did that today at the veterinarian.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen plenty of pictures of it every time we do that.
There you go, Andy.
There's me as Nexus.
Wait.
As Nexus, I said, love the glass.
I know. I love that, dude. I freaking love that. It's like it's like out of shape Thor. It's just that.
Yeah, right. Fat Nexus, smoking Nexus.
That's great.
That Nexus if he was a biker.
Yeah. Well, that's the next thing you have to design because you designed this basically sports car type shit. Now you can design some rad.
Nexus.
Oh my god, dude! Seriously, if you put him on a bike, a la a little tip of the hat to Lobo riding around in space.
Mike, write that in your notes for a future episode. We can get Nexus on a space bike.
Dude,
Nah.
Yeah, is it going to be like a chopper? Is it going to be like a Tron light cycle?
Space
so
biker
many
gang.
options.
That's right. All right, hold on. Let me see something here. See, I knew it. I'll show you.
Nexus needs leg room. He's got to have a nice room.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Good boy.
Oh my
Good
god.
boy. Bob. I love it. I love
Good,
that dog.
good eating squirrel there.
That's right. That's right. Hey, did you ever get approached by back, in the 80s and 90s with Nexus? Was there ever any talk of like Nexus teaming up with somebody from like Marvel or DC or no?
Well, in fact, there's a Nexus Magnus crossover that Valiant published.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Oh
That's a good
yeah.
one.
Well, no, I mean, they're not going to shine a spotlight on me. I'm too small.
Yeah.
Mm. Well,
Well,
they're catching up to you, though, Mike. They're catching up to you. Maybe we can get one.
Yeah, I'm catching up to them.
Nexus meets Punisher. Yeah.
Well, guys, so if you're disgusted with what Marvel has done to the Punisher, that's why I created Private American,
Yeah.
which is available on my website, baroncomics.com. And the very concept of Private American drew people into a frenzy. I said he was down on the southern border, stopping human traffickers from raping 12-year-old girls, stopping drug smugglers and terrorists from entering the country.
How
When
dare
that
you?
came out, certain elements in society went berserk. They attacked me as a racist.
Yeah, that was just stupid. And of course, it wasn't even out when they did that. They
had no idea
they
what
didn't
was
even
going on.
read anything about the campaign. It was just your name, what this guy does.
So
Yeah.
Chris contacted the Daily Kos, which ran the story, and said, "Would you like to read the book?" And they said, So he says, "Here it is. It's up on. I've made a digital copy available for you at this link." That was 2 years ago. They have not looked at the book.
Of course not. When is the sequel to Private American coming out? I want to back it so progressives can have a meltdown.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's coming, and believe me, they will. But it's at least a year off because the pipeline is filled. We have some stuff going on.
You heard it here first. It definitely give them fits.
Right. That's right.
Thank
Well,
you,
that's
Fatty.
awesome.
I try.
So Nexus is now at least on Indiegogo. It's on Fund My Comic. It's on Kickstarter. 19,533 on Indiegogo. 331 backers. Guys, go check this out and back it. You definitely will not be let down by the writing. I mean, it's just perfect.
Or
I mean,
the art. Or the art.
Oh no,
Everything looks. I'm so excited.
That was a given. I mean,
you guys together like peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter and chocolate.
I think
Well, we picked up
over
a few
700
couple of
backers.
backers today. We are at 700 backers, 38,830. So thank you
Excellent.
guys. And for all of you guys that watch this later, that don't watch it in live and you watch it in the reruns, the link's down below. You can click on it and back it and make sure that you do.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
of course,
thank you.
you might also want to check out Kor-Drath the Awakening. That's Dennis and my.
Great new trailer, by the way. I love that new trailer.
Thanks a lot, Kelsey. That is our new project. I am working on it, starting page 13. Go check it out. Kor-Drath and Adriana are back.
Looks
Vordu
great.
the Undying was revealed at the end of the first book. Spoiler alert. And he plays a big part in this one. We've got a new role-playing game module Dennis is working on as well. There's the main cover by myself and Dandy Dan Lawless. Of course, the homage cover.
I love this one. That's so great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a homage to Conan #2, which wasn't planned when we did the homage to Conan #1. We were just looking last year for what we could do for the next homage cover. And I said, well, let's just start from the beginning of Conan again. And
I
boom,
love it.
#2 and was like, well, that's it.
Love it.
So
And it's Schwarzenegger approved, I hear. So
It is.
yeah.
It is.
he just wishes he was young enough to play him.
Yeah.
So I said, sorry, Arnold, you're not young enough, but you can pimp the book.
That
Another
is
Blood Root
beautiful.
cover.
That's
Dan
Blood
Lawless.
Root. Oh, Dan Lawless is coloring that. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
great.
dude. Check this out. Let's see.
For those of you that backed the first one and you
Oh.
got the Lilith.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Do those go together?
Sure
They
do. Yeah.
So- Get the new cover by Bud. Get the old cover by Bud if you didn't get it the first time, and frame them and put it together, and there you go. So yeah, could there be more?
Dan's coloring is instantly identifiable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy, and man, he looks great with Bud. I mean, that's just
They
remarkable.
are a dynamic duo.
Well,
and I could expect their book win. They need to be working on something for me right now.
I know. Bud loves the stuff, and we love it so much that for the catch-up tier,
Huh.
you can get
Oh,
volume 1, second printing, with another piece of art by Bud and Dan Lawless for the cover.
Yeah, for those of you
Okay.
that missed it the first time around are going, wow, I really want that. You can get the second print with this awesome cover.
That's right.
That hawk, or what is that? A hawk, or
It's a Black Eagle because she
Black
belongs to
Eagle.
the Black Eagle tribe.
looks freaking insane. So good.
And
Love
the
it.
Black Eagles, and actually I just drew the Black Eagle on a page. So
Oh, man.
and then we're doing a black and white edition of the book, not an artist edition, just regular size graphic novel, black and white.
Just what Mike's holding up. Yep, the artist edition.
Well, that's art. This
Yep,
is not an
this
artist
is
edition.
not.
I got mine. I should have it somewhere.
Right there.
I think I got it in the other room. I should have had mine ready. Dang it.
Oh, that's okay. But this is just black and white. It'll have all the lettering. So basically, you're just reading the whole story in black and white. Regular size comic, preview
Beautiful.
pages, of course. Gotta preview some stuff. No text this time though, because we don't want to give anything away. But here's the big bad guy Vordu.
Oh, that's great.
He's a big boy.
Will we get Kor-Drath on Fund My Comics?
Most likely.
Yeah, the answer is probably a definite yes.
Excellent.
So we got the preview pages, of course, character rundown, talking about Demise and Dracomort, the new game module Dennis is writing with, of course, and I can show it bigger, art on the cover by Bart Sears and Dan Lawless.
Wow.
They were on the first one. Why not keep those two together on the second one?
So there's
Can
art.
Dan just color everything? That'd be great.
Dude, I wanted him to color. We wanted him to color the first book, but he's like, I'm good for short stories and covers. I was like, I understand.
He did
He
say,
has-
man, after seeing how it turned out, he goes, I really wish I had the time to do that because, I mean, he fits perfectly with everything we're trying to do.
Yeah, he does. And Bart, man, gosh, still got it.
yeah. He still does. He really does.
Yeah.
Of course, the parody ad is back.
He's selling it.
We decided to keep with the Axe Mead one more time. So I wrote this fun one. I wanted to keep it in the same vein as Looney Tunes as I did the first one. And Andy did the fruit pies for his other book. So this was a great follow-up. I thought a fun one.
Yeah. And then we popped it today. The first stretch goal, just like the first campaigns, 50,000. And when we hit it, everybody will get the first playable character card for this campaign, which is Vordoom the Undying, also colored by Dan Lawless. And just like the previous campaign, those 4 character cards were my art and Dan's colors, and we're continuing the tradition with this campaign. So once we hit 50K, everybody will get that one. And great add-ons. I'm doing a whole book of little layouts so people can see the rough pencils that I ink from.
I love that stuff. That's my favorite.
Yeah, Aaron does that on Wraith of God, and I'm like, damn it, I love that stuff. So why not? And then for those that want an E for Everyone rated version of Kor-Drath the Awakening, we've got a black and white manga size version.
Wow.
And we've got a colored digest version that's a little bit bigger. And those are E for Everyone. That one page that Mike showed at the beginning of the show, we edited it. So now you can give it to your 11, maybe 10-year-old, depends.
Rated E for excellence.
Yeah,
Excellent.
We had a lot of people that talked to us and said, we love this book. I'd love for my kids to read it, but they can't take it to school. And so we made a school-friendly version.
Oh, nice.
If you like role-playing games, you'll like the Kor-Drath minifigures. We've got a 2-inch size, which is the standard size for the role-playing games, a 3-inch size, and a big manly 5-inch size. And I say 5 inches is manly because that's what my wife tells me. So the detail is nicer on the 5-inch one, but the detail on the 2 and 3 inch is really nice as well. These are available as add-ons, so check those out.
Any sexy new characters in Volume 2? We do have new characters and brand new monsters. No, not monsters from regular old stuff. Brand new, fully designed from the ground up monsters with statistics. And yes, those will be in the new volume.
There you go. And of course, the collector's box, which if you back the feature tier, which is all the Kor-Drath Awakening books, fit in one box, and the game module, you will get this collector's box. Or if you just want to get, I don't know, cover A, you can add the box on and check out. So we make it very customizable for you and very easy. Figure sketch, head sketch. And of course, at the bottom, the big bad booty daddy, where you get everything from Kor-Drath the Awakening, all 6 covers, the game module, and everything from Kor-Drath the Awakening. And the fancy, nice.
You are then a Kor-Drath completist, and we
do. So there you go, guys. Go check it out. Link for this and for Nexus in the description below. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, very excited for Nexus. I can't tell you how much I can't wait for this to come out.
And on Friday, the movie review this Friday will be Abigail. If you've seen the trailer, it's a little ballerina, 10-year-old, 12-year-old girl that's a vampire.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I just posted today on on my YouTube channel. I just did I do the book and record sets from the 70s, and this one is one of the large LP ones. The great big ones, and it is one of the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. So I've got that. You can follow it along. I've got 22 of the book and records that are now up and live. You can read along. If you're working, you can either watch them or listen to them, but they're up along there, along with all of our movie reviews. So at Dennis Turner, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can check all of that fun stuff out.
Yeah, you can. I'm just looking at something. Okay, so there you go. We'll be back next week. Couple guests joining us next week as well. We'll announce them later. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Graybeards is coming up in a little bit, so you can see.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey, it's not a competition, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not a competition to Aaron. Makes him feel a lot better. But yes.
It helps him go to sleep at night.
Exactly.
Instead of sounding deep, he just repeats the mantra. It's not a competition.
Mm-hmm,
Well, Aaron has the advantage of living on the West Coast.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
And he does have the advantage of being a really great artist. So
Well, yeah, he does. All right, you guys stay behind, and we'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Live
Bye.
long and prosper.
So.